Who's that in the picture?
Daddy.
And who's that?
You.
My name's Julie. I'm married, I have 2 children, and I live in Llandudno in North Wales.
And your name is?
Adam.
I've been with my husband Mike for almost 15 years now.
I play hard, I try to chew it. It can't get out because it's in a glass tank.
I wouldn't like that. I tend to get up and dash about, and then sometimes it's even madder routine in the morning because I'm going to work too, so we have a hectic time, don't we, monkeys? Yeah, here we go, we've got the puppy too. Well, my husband Mike works shifts, so when he's off he takes the kids to school, but today it's my turn. Llandudno's a lovely place to live. It's just a really friendly town. The children are lucky they go to a great school now, but I want to make sure that their secondary education is good. I do think about what society I want the children to grow up in, and that's what I like about the policies with the Conservatives. It seems very much that they're aiming towards trying to get back a community spirit everywhere. As a mum, I want my children to feel supported and loved and feel that they can grow up and do anything they want to do. This is Chloe's room. It's relatively untidy, but not as untidy as it sometimes gets. As well as being a mum, I work 3 days a week for a department store, and it's nice to have that work-life balance. I actually met David Cameron when he came to Llandudno to do something called Cameron Direct, which was a question-answer session that was in our local town hall, maybe 100 people there where we could just ask anything. The one thing that David Cameron said that really kind of took hold with me was that he wanted Britain to be the most family-friendly country in the world, or at least, considered one of the most family-friendly, and I think that's just a great outlook to have, and how brilliant would it be if we could achieve that.
So if you want to have a go, if you do those for me, that'd be a great help. Those came in this morning.
Happy Faces is a charity in North Wales that helps disabled children, and I help out sometimes in the charity shop that they have. It's very important for me to be involved in the local community because this is where my children are going to grow up. I never thought growing up that I would vote Conservative, I have to be honest. I guess I saw them as the posh party, and I considered myself very much working class, but I believe that's changed now. I think that their policies are very much about everybody.
Okay, so what did you do? Painting.
I want my children to grow up in a society where people don't have a negative opinion of children, where they don't just think of children as misbehaving. I want the country to go back to where it used to be, where family was important and children were seen as a nice part of society. I'm very lucky, I've got family close by. My parents are around the corner with my older sister Angela, and I also have a twin sister Joanne, and we get to see a lot of each other. It's time for change in this country. I think that under Labour we're heading in the wrong direction. I think that they haven't got it right with children, and I think that the Tories have great policies, and I believe that their policies on family are the best thing for my future and my children's future.
Michael has just spoken about building the big society built on mutual responsibility. And there is no more powerful symbol of that value than our NHS. Just 3 letters, but they say big things about our country's sense of duty and fairness. It is literally a lifeline for so many, and that's why the NHS will always be our #1 priority for government. We will never change the basic idea at the heart of our health service, that healthcare in this country is free at the point of use and available to everyone based on need, not ability to pay. But that doesn't mean the NHS shouldn't change. It has to change, because for too many, the service is not good enough. When maternity wards and A&E departments are being closed down, when productivity has slumped, nurses and doctors are disillusioned and demoralised, and our cancer survival rates are amongst the worst in Europe. The question isn't does the NHS need to change? It's how it should change. We've said we will increase spending on the NHS each year, every year, and we are the only party to pledge that. We'll stop Labour's jobs tax, saving the NHS money, meaning people can get the cancer drugs they need, but at the moment they cannot get. We'll scrap those targets that doctors and nurses hate and let them get on with the job they are trained to do. And instead of doctors and nurses answering to bureaucrats, we'll drive up standards by making them answerable to patients instead. You're going to have much greater choice about where and how you get treated. You'll be able to get online and compare information about how good different doctors are and how good different hospitals are. So that is the change we'll bring. But the NHS employs an army of people, and today I'm asking that army to mobilise. I'm inviting doctors and nurses in our NHS to come forward and set up employee-owned cooperatives. You think you can organise your budgets better? I think often you know you can. You think you can make savings while still delivering a good service. You know you can deliver a great service. You want to be your own boss? Well, you can with us. Together, we can inject new energy into the NHS, revive the morale of its professionals, renew the values that were enshrined in it 60 years ago, revitalise it for the challenges of a modern age. So please accept this invitation. Play your part. Do your bit. Join us in building the future. Thank you. Caroline.
Now, if we're going to start mending our political system, we've got to return Parliament to people. But if you think that's enough, you're very much mistaken. One of the reasons people are so frustrated with our politics is that so many of the decisions that affect their lives are taken by someone else, somewhere else. Just think about it. The housing development that is dropped on your neighbourhood, some quango decides. The post office that everyone loves but is being forced to close down, some bureaucrat decides. We've been sleepwalking into becoming one of the most centralised, power-sapping, will-crushing countries in the world. But we're going to put a stop to it. We plan the most radical redistribution of power from central to local, from local government to communities, and from bureaucrats to individuals. Through decentralisation, accountability, and transparency, we will take power away from the political elite and hand it to the man and woman on the street. More power to local councils, more city mayors, more referendums for local people, more control over housing and planning to neighbourhoods, cutting the number of quangos, publishing the money central and local government spends and the contracts they sign in your name. But it's one thing holding out the baton of power. It's quite another for people to grab hold of it. So today, this is my invitation to everyone who is tired of being a passenger and instead wants to drive the destiny of their own life and their own community. Come forward and join the government of Britain. Crawl over public spending that is published online and expose the waste. Call us to account and let us know how you think things can be done more efficiently. Veto high council tax rises. Get together with your neighbours and take control over the look, size and shape of any new building development in your area by designing your new local plan.